Hello, welcome everyone to a masterclass with the one and only Sahaj Grover, a amazing Grandmaster with whom I have lost several games. Bye. So nice that you agreed to do this masterclass on the final day of the World Cup.
It has to be special, the game also has to be special and this moment has to be special as well.
Yeah, and the game that we have selected is absolutely amazing. Just a few words about Sahaj, a prodigious young talent, won the Under 10 World Championship.
Many years ago. In 2005, I think it was.
2005 that you won, and then you became a GM at quite a young age.
I became a Grandmaster at 16. So at that point, I guess it was considered young. But these days, we have Faustino Oro, who is,
12 years old
barely
and
12 years.
2500 plus.
2600 strength for sure, yeah. But yes, by the way, fun fact, the same year that I became under 10 world champion, Srinath Narayanan, the coach of the Indian national team, he won the world under 12 on the same year, the same tournament, same everything.
So you both dominated that tournament for India, and I think when you came back, everyone was very elated, and I think you were discovered as a big prodigious young talent, which you stayed true to it. And I think one of the things that I've always experienced with you is your aggressive playing style, a free-flowing playing style where you love to sacrifice pieces.
I would say so, yes. I mean, I think it's part of the Indian chess school. We are, I think, very calculative, very dynamic by nature. And I've always loved sacrificing pieces and just not knowing what to do. But my goal has always been that if I can sacrifice something and my opponent is more confused than me, then it's a success.
Amazing. In the spirit of Mikhail Tal.
He was one of my heroes growing up, yes.
Wow. So today I asked Sahaj Bhai to find his best game, and you can imagine that a career that has so many amazing sacrificial games, he selected this one that he played at the Dubai Open 2013 against a very strong Grandmaster, Ghayam Maghami.
Yes, first of all, to those who don't know him, he was Iranian #1 player for a very long time. I would say about 10 to 15 years for sure. I'm also, Sagar bhai, correct me if I'm wrong, but he held a world record for the most
number of simul games.
Yes.
At some point, yeah.
At some point, yes. Now it was, I think very recently it was broken, but yeah, very strong player. And I love this game because I think it is played in one of my favorite openings that I loved as a kid. And I think you don't get games like that against players of this level.
I'm actually now excited to see this one. So let's begin. Sahaj is white. Guys, you will be asked some questions and you can answer them if you find the right answers. Also, people back home can answer them. E4, C5, it was the Sicilian here. Knight F3, D6, and you went for the open Sicilian.
Yes, I mean during the game I was kind of debating if I should go bishop b5 check or if I should go c3. Those are also options that I have tried in the past, but I really wanted to play, as you will see in this game, I predicted that he was going to play the knight of defense, which is knight c3 and a6, one of the most popular variations inside the Sicilian, the most popular variation I would say. And what I played here, which is known as the Fischer-Sozin attack.
Can we ask them, what is the move here that Fischer liked? Actually, it creates a very aggressive setup, yeah?
Yes, very aggressive set. I think one of the most aggressive lines against the knight of we have. There is bishop g5, then there is also bishop c4. Both of them are super aggressive.
And so you played the Sozin here with bishop to c4, okay?
Right. And the idea of bishop c4 is that, generally speaking, you want to put your bishop to b3 and then you want to castle on the long side, and that bishop acts as a defender and an attacker. Because by a defender, I mean if black wants to launch a pawn storm on the queen's side, let's say with b5, knight c6, knight a5 and things, things like that, then the bishop on b3 just keeps my structure really compact. On the other hand, the bishop on b3 also helps me capture on e6. on critical moments. So
Where you want to sack.
where I definitely want to sack.
So, and it's very important for black here to play the move e6 to
Yes.
limit the bishop here. It's a very logical move. Sahaj drops his bishop back as discussed here, and b5.
Yes, we are now basically in mainstream opening territory. And here the main move for white is short castle. At least back in those days it was short castle. But these days I think the theory is kind of shifting thanks to modern engines. Nowadays a3 and bishop e3 are also very, very logical moves. But what I chose here is still not popular, still not played by a lot of people, but it is really aggressive. And it works if you have studied it deep enough, which is queen to f3.
Wow.
And now the idea is like that. Firstly, maybe we can ask the audience, what do you think is the idea behind this move? Maybe we can
What
also-
is white's idea? Why does the queen stand on f3? Like, what's the plan? And if we have a microphone here, if we can give it to anyone who wants to answer, would be very cool. Aha, we have our friend from Uzbekistan here.
1-1.
Yes.
I think one of the ideas are playing e5 and targeting the rook and attacking the knight. And I think one of the ideas somewhere you're targeting f7 square, like the bishop is targeting on this square and queen is targeting on this square. Maybe again your idea is like cancelling and developing the dark square bishop from g5, attacking the knight, and giving a lot of pressure on the king side.
That's a perfect answer. Exactly. All of these things combined form the entire purpose of queen f3. e5, of course, which you pointed out, like that's the first thing you spotted, is the main idea here. And black here has three different possibilities, and all of them revolve around defending against this e5 breakthrough. One is queen c7, one is bishop b7, and one is queen b6. And there is lines and lines and lines of theory here, all of them resulting in some really crazy variations. And my opponent chose queen to b6. And now let me tell you that during my preparation, this was the move that I did not look at all. I had no clue. After I was completely out, and I was just thinking to myself, why out of the three options, this is the one that I chose, thought about the most, the least, and I was completely on my own.
And the main point is that if you now push e5 to attack the rook here, guys, what does black play? Yes?
Exactly, bishop to b7.
And you get this intermediate attack, and then you take the pawn.
And also the knight on d4 hangs, the pawn on g2 hangs, so many different attacking possibilities for black. It just goes to show that one wrong move and black is just completely better here, if not winning.
Right. So right now, you defended the knight first.
Exactly. I played bishop e3, again returning the favor. Now I'm threatening these knight takes c6, knight f5, all of these cool ideas.
To attack the queen. And so Ghayam played queen b7.
You can understand my shock that when my opponent went, instead of keeping his bishop on b7, he puts his queen on b7.
Wow.
Yeah, which is strange. But in retrospect, it makes sense because the queen guards that diagonal, whereas the bishop guards the e6 square. This way, bishop takes e6 is not possible, and e5 is also not possible. So a nice compact decision by my opponent.
Very cool. Okay. And here you decided, of course, to go all out, long castle.
Absolutely, because that's the entire plan. Go long castle, and that bishop on b3 is sitting perfectly. And now there is of course, a very nice tactic. If black was to play b4 here,
To win a pawn.
Yeah,
I had this question on my mind. Because
Really?
if the knight moves away, you are just losing this pawn.
exactly. But this is where the tactic comes in. Yeah.
Maybe, guys, white to play, what do you do? Try to think. These are typical ideas which can teach you a lot about how to attack in these structures. And just learning it would be so useful for all of you.
Sagar Bhai is telling you black's next move, and that should give you an idea of how you should respond to this. Even knight takes e4 is another threat here for black.
So if you move the knight, this is hanging as well. So what do you do, guys? Anyone? Yes. Can we give him the mic? Go for it.
Pawn to e5.
Wow. What a move. I just
a
didn't
nice
think
move.
about it. Like,
I have to think about how to answer before I can, because it's very chaotic. But I think I can go pawn takes c5 here. If I'm not,
E5.
yes, pawn takes c5, and you go queen takes queen and bishop takes queen, and okay, one of the knights is falling here. But it's a nice vision in that sense, because I think you are thinking aggressively, and that's the entire point of playing the Fischer-Sozin attack.
so
The
if
move here-
someone thinks about move like knight e2, then it's not in the spirit of the position.
Exactly. That would be retreating the piece, and that's probably a worse move than playing e5 here, because we want to go forward. But the move here is kind of strange in that sense. White should go knight to a4.
Aha. You know, I was kind of convinced that we should sack the knight here. No, is it not good?
I think that can be played, but black would have to be super precise to kind of
Because
answer.
take, and then generally such positions like rook h1, knight c6 jump could be interesting.
If you give me one extra move, like if you keep my rook on e1, I think this is working, because then I will not allow you to castle. But without it, I think bishop e7 and short castle, and if black's king becomes safe, then maybe it's a slight problem.
It's not enough compensation.
Exactly.
Interesting. Okay. So knight to a4.
And now
Now I take the pawn.
there are two ways to calculate this. So firstly, we should understand queen takes c4. If black goes queen takes c4, we can just recapture knight takes and just knight b6. And you will get either the rook or the bishop. And if you capture with the knight, then comes the real question here. And there is a way to think about this, and I think I read this in probably in universal chess training, if I'm not mistaken, that how to improve your calculation, how to improve your calculation abilities is to first look at the worst move of your opponent, and the answer there was knight b6, and then apply the same move to your opponent's better move. So in this case, you should still be looking at the move knight b6. That's sort of how you train your.
How do you train? If knight b6 is the worst move here.
So queen takes e4. If we look at the two captures of black, right? There is queen takes e4 and knight takes e4, and queen takes e4 sort of drops a piece or an exchange immediately. So knight takes e4 is a stronger move out of the two. So if against queen e4 knight b6 works, then against knight e4 also knight b6 should work.
Acha.
That should be
crazy idea. I never heard of it.
I read this somewhere, and I have tried to apply this in complicated positions. It doesn't work always, but it's a good place to start.
Right. So do you think knight b6 works here?
Yes. actually.
Here, exactly.
It works, yes.
Whoa.
So knight b6, the idea is that again I'm threatening the rook and the bishop.
You have to take.
If you take, then knight takes e6, and it's a GG.
And then you are attacking the queen and this. And if I move my queen back to defend here, there must be some way to finish this off. Maybe knight c7 check.
Knight, oh, beautiful.
Because
Agar bhai, you are super sharp.
Because then queen takes c7, queen e4 check, and you win this rook.
Absolutely, absolutely. Super sharp. So knight b6 was my idea, and I calculated this during the game. And yeah, he didn't go for it. Of course, he saw through this.
He played knight b d7. He didn't push his pawn to b4. Knight b d7, and now came the move rook h e1 that we were talking about, bringing the rook into the center, and bishop e7.
Exactly. He goes bishop e7. And I was thinking, before bishop e7, I was thinking to myself, if he goes b4, knight a4 and knight takes e4, what am I going to do? Because now I can't play knight b6. But I just sort of hoped that he's not going to do it because it looks really scary.
But now
black.
you will do this, no, with rook on e1?
Oh, that's also possible. Yeah. But knight a4, I'm sure there is some tactic there. Like I'm sure there must be something that works for white. Like there are some really crazy lines here with knight takes e6, bishop takes e6, and so on and so on. It's like if we sit on this position, I'm telling you, Sagar bhai, you will find so many beautiful ideas for the white side. Like I absolutely love this. But yes,
Actually, why does black play such positions? Because it's so risky. Maybe black is saying that I have like a very good structure, right? Like strong center, and so on.
Of course, yes, definitely. And also, I think from the black side, my opponent is about 100 points higher rated than me. And playing Sicilian against a low rated player, I think by 100 points is a sort of a calculated decision because black is trying to play for a win. If for example, if I was the same rating as him or if I was slightly higher, maybe he would have chosen something more solid. Just to see if I'm going to be more ambitious or not. So I think it's a calculated decision on his part.
So guys, now black is getting close to developing everything, wants to castle. What do you do here as white? White to play. Come on.
Nice tactic.
Think about how can black create some problems for us. How can white create some problems for black? Because white has a lead in development. And whenever you have lead in development, you should be playing with lot of energy.
Lot of momentum, yes.
I just wanted to ask, or maybe like our all pieces are developed here and black is preparing for castling. Maybe
Yes.
we should delay the castling by playing knight takes e6.
Oh, you are sacking, yeah?
Yeah, knight takes e6, pawn takes e6, then bishop takes e6. We are like controlling this file. We are not giving him a castling option here. And maybe he will gets out this knight, goes for a bishop trade, but we are not trading the bishop. We are keeping this bishop on this file and trying
Can
to
you
open
look
the
one
position.
move here? One move that black has, which might force you to trade.
It's always about checks.
Knight takes e5, you mean?
Knight e5.
95, exactly.
Knight e5 is here. Okay.
And then if you take the bishop, then just rook takes back and black can maybe castle. Maybe you can complicate sort of matters here and you can go like queen h3.
Maybe here directly.
You can
as
say,
well.
okay, if you take my bishop, I will recapture or something like that. But still, I think 2 pawns for a piece and just one piece close to your opponent's king. Generally, you need 2 or 3 to have a successful attack. I mean, ideal is 3 because you're sacking 1 and you're mating with the 2.
But I like this concept that you are looking at that square on e6 to sack something. It's going to come.
Exactly.
It's coming.
Yeah.
But maybe not here.
Not here, not here.
Okay.
So instead of this, I went for queen g3. Now the idea was very simple, that if my opponent castles, then there are a lot of attacking ideas on the king side, like bishop h6. And then you are forced to retreat with the knight, and okay, I have knight f5, bishop p6. All of these moves are just flowing in the position. Even knight d5 looks very, very strong here.
Knight d5.
I think so, yes?
With the idea to take and then jump with the knight here,
Or just bishop takes d5.
Aha.
Your rook is, I think, gone. Because if you go queen a7 or b8, then knight jumps into c6, and then I capture on e7.
Okay.
So many...
This is brutal.
So many nice ideas here.
So Ghayam said, okay, I don't want to castle because it's too dangerous. So he played the move g6 here.
Yes. But now this is a slightly weakening move. My opponent is sort of keeping the option to castle alive, but at the same time, if he does castle, will the king ever be safe? Probably not, because you have created this hole on the dark squares, and I also have a hook with h4, h5 or f4, f5 and so on. And I chose to play bishop h6 to say, okay, no more castling for you.
And now black was like, okay, I can't castle. I need to create some play. I see that the pawn on e4 is attacked twice and defended twice. So he goes in and attacks it one more time. And here is your next question, guys. What do you play as white? White to play. Very important moment. Knight c5 has been played. The pawn on e4 is attacked. Do you play solid chess? Do you go all in?
When you've come this far, you have to go all in, otherwise it's not going to work. Sorry? E5.
Well done.
Exactly.
Beautiful.
Well done.
E5.
And now I think the beauty of this game kind of begins for me, because this is where I think everything just becomes very chaotic.
Because if he takes here, then you are happy to take with the queen and
Yes.
you have a lot of play.
Yes, I didn't calculate this much, to be honest, because I have bishop g7, bishop, so many different ideas I have here. And it's hard for black to castle. the position already looks borderline lost. Or if it is savable, then black has to make a lot of very, very precise moves.
So in the game, he played knight f e4. So now the knight is attacking the queen and the knight, and you took, and now guys, what is your first instinct here as white? Like, what is the first move that comes to your mind where to move the queen? Sorry? F3 comes to your mind. Your first instinct. I want to know your first instinct.
Sagar Bhai kind of tricked him, yeah.
My main aim is to trick everyone. Yeah, that's the point. When you get tricked, you learn. Yes. You want to say on the mic your move?
Queen f3.
Queen f3 is what Arjun wants to play. Okay. Anyone else? First instinct. First instinct is basically pehla move. First move that comes to your mind. You want to take the knight. What do you want to do? The rook.
The rook. Oh, we should have done that, yeah.
The rook, and he took here with
the rook. Exactly, because we are gaining more and more momentum in the game. Every move is a threat in this sense. So black goes queen takes e4, and now e takes d6,
attacking the bishop.
And now, of course, he has to move the bishop. There is only one logical square. He moves to f6, and he's attacking my knight on d4. And this is, I think, sort of the harder decisions. I think whenever we sacrifice, our general tendency is to think about how can I get my material back, or how can I sort of level the game, or how can I have a comfortable advantage. And I think the next move is kind of difficult to evaluate in the beginning.
How do you do it? Matlab, I want first people to think what would you play as white, and then I want Sahaj bhai to explain how to think of such moves. Because here, first try to think what is your natural instinct, guys. What do you want to do? You are exchange down. I'm pretty sure you want to sack something. 96 is coming to your mind. Somewhere, I don't know.
I'll tell you that my coach, my first ever coach, I'm sure you know him, Mr. Gurpreet Pal Singh. He was very pivotal, I think, in my youth, and he gave me this advice which has stuck with me for a very long time. It's just that when you sacrifice something, forget it. Forget that you have sacrificed something and play the game normally. Don't think that you are down material. Don't think you are up material. Just play as if the material is equal. And that's exactly how you come up with moves like that.
Wow. That's such a deep advice. Maybe in life also, yeah? When you do something for others, like sacrifice, forget it then.
Exactly. Chess imitates
Chess is
life,
like
yeah?
life. Nice. So maybe a good idea to look at this position in these terms, that you have so many pieces working for you, and maybe it's no need to sack something anymore. What do you do?
Sorry? D7.
D7.
That's sacking something, I think. They see you are sort of giving into your instincts here, because
And
you see that I sacked something, I want something in return, so you keep looking for it. But it's natural, I think. But in a situation like, would you, now my question to you is, would you sack the pawn if you didn't sacrifice your exchange? Exactly. So that's exactly how we are thinking in such dynamic positions. And what I went for here is just simply returning the back. Sorry? Queen c3, I think that's a very nice move as well. I think it's one of the best moves in this position.
Bishop e3 is what he wants to play.
But bishop e3 would, I think, give up control, because black can now castle. If black can castle, then sort of black is more or less safe. We want to make sure that the king remains in the center and we just play normally, because black's pieces, black's rooks are never going to get connected, and there won't be any harmony.
Sorry?
F3, very close, yeah? Very, very close.
The square is right.
The square is right.
Knight f3.
Knight f3, exactly.
Knight to f3. This is such a tough move.
I think this is, it's about just keeping the momentum. And my point was just in the technical sense that I didn't want to give him the e5 square. I didn't want the bishop to come to e5. I wanted to control the center. And in the later stage of the game, knight g5 can be a very big threat. and for me to sack something on f7. Also, the D line opens up for my rook as well. So many different possibilities open. And I didn't necessarily was looking for a way to checkmate. I was just looking for all the ways that my opponent can escape, and I'm not allowing him to do that. That's it.
So right now, your opponent went queen f5. And now, here, you still continued your game as if you're playing normally. You brought your rook in.
Exactly. Just rook e1, very simple. My idea was that I want to go c3 and bishop c2 and kick the queen from f5. Now, it doesn't look like that I'm an exchange down here, but that's the point. I'm just trying for him to not get out in a concrete manner. And he goes bishop d7, just simply developing his bishop. And now we push the Harshit pawn and we go h4. Let's go.
Again, very calmly playing here, not hurrying, just keeping control of everything.
Exactly. Just also securing that g5 square for the knight. Maybe the knight can jump in at some point. And if you think, try to put yourself in black's shoes here. It is so hard to come up with a move. It doesn't feel like there is something concrete. And when you are sort of facing initiative, you need something concrete.
I want to long castle. Looks dangerous, but can I put my king there?
I think you can. But just the pawn on a6, pawn on b5, the queen side looks a bit shaky to me. Maybe I can still go knight g5 and attack your f7 pawn. Perhaps. Oh, knight e5 also looks very strong actually, now that I think about it.
Knight e5. And if you take here, I'll take with the rook.
Yes, and then queen jumps into c3 and so many...
Could almost be mate.
Very difficult.
So in the game, Ghayam played rook c8 and he's attacking the pawn on c2, like just keeping an eye on that. And you played the move c3.
Exactly. Just continuing the plan, bringing the bishop to c2, kicking the queen from f5, and then I will put my queen on f4. That challenges his bishop. Again, playing the game as if, the material is completely equal.
Wow.
Black here plays b4. And now just bishop c2, just continuing the plan.
And he played the move queen h5.
And this was sort of his decisive blunder. Believe it or not, actually, until this point, Black was doing fine. I wouldn't say he's better, but he wasn't worse either. But the follow-up here for Black is very difficult. He had to go some queen c5, and then I think I have put it there as well. After queen f4, he had to find bishop takes c3.
He had to sack.
He had to sack, yeah. Just returning the favor. And somewhere he has counterplay on the queen side. But instead...
He went queen h5 here. And now, guys, what do you play here as white? White to play. An important moment in the game, your bishop is attacked.
And it's important to not lose momentum as well. If you move the bishop from h6, then Black castles. Very well.
Queen
nice.
f4, well done. You defend your bishop, you attack the f6 bishop.
Exactly. And also queen f6 is not a threat right now because Black can answer with queen h6 check. g4, exactly. I was just getting to that point actually. g4 is my plan.
So g4, and if the queen moves away, you take on f6.
Exactly.
But the opponent was smart. He was like, I'll checkmate you. He took on c3.
Yes, and now there is a small tactic here. Now g4 doesn't work. Can you tell me why, Arjun? Let me tell you, you have the right name for it, for this tactic. cb2, just king b1, yeah? And I think I'm more or less, I think that also can work. But queen b5, I think, is very risky as well. Actually, no, he's right. cb2 is also working.
cb2, king b1.
And queen c5. See, it's so sharp.
Queen c5, well done. And now you're attacking here. So there's no time to take this bishop. So in a way, b takes c3 now, guys. A key moment has arisen here. What do you play as white?
Again, it's important to be in control. It's important to be calm in a situation. You don't want to finish the game instantly.
Who said b3? Well done.
Well done.
Excellent. Bhai, ye move, it's like you are saying to Black, all your counterplay, I'm taking it up. soaking it up, and now my play will begin.
Exactly. I think it's a beautiful move here, p3.
And black went bishop d8 because black wants to save the bishop. And now a question to you once again. What do you play here as white? Yeah, key moment. Yeah. And you will see, I'm seeing this in all the master classes I've done here, that when the key moment comes, these strong players like Sahaj, Harshit, Tanya, Aloise, they were all very, very strong in calculating and finishing it off. They would never be like, now I can play on feel here. Let me play king b1 or something like this. Now they sense the moment.
95.
Knight to e5. You want to mate him on f7. Possible.
Very good idea. But you're missing sort of the follow-up here. And if you saw the follow-up, I think you would suggest a slightly different move.
Sorry, queen? Queen d4, attacking the rook there.
So remember that queen takes h6 is a check. And then black will save his rook. Sorry? Rook e5 I like.
भाई अंकल आप इतना strong कैसे?
Crazy.
Too good.
Amazing.
Maybe we can give the mic to him once he has found the right move 2 times in a row. That is incredible.
Yeah, knight g5.
What is your plan?
So that queen is trapped now.
Oh. So if I play f6 now?
The attack the queen.
How?
That pawn, g4.
G4.
Now I would encourage all of you to just pay very close attention to this position. Very, very close attention.
What if I take?
Why you are very good with the tricks, yeah?
You are almost there, वैसे.
Very, very close. This actually happened in the game.
This happened. He
and
played.
You see, again, Sagar bhai, this is where the concept of the golden pawn first formed in my mind.
Nice.
F6
12 years
खेलते ही
ago.
position खराब हो गई.
Right? Knight captures e5, e6, e6.
So the process is always that we want to do it that CCT method. Yeah, checks, captures, threats. तो पहली check कौन सी है यहाँ पे? Okay.
What rook? Rook e6, okay.
And then what happens? Let's say black goes bishop e6. उसके बाद भी वापस CCT शुरू हो जाएगा. Checks, captures, threats. d7, okay. Black goes king takes d7. Visualization थोड़ा.
So rook e6, bishop e6, d7, king d7. Sorry? Bishop f5 here you want to play? But इधर bishop है बीच में e6 पे because you're.
Also in the chat, Swara Shiv is saying bishop d1 looks like a nice
bishop
move.
d1 many people are saying.
Yeah, bishop d1 पे queen takes h6 is hanging.
They missed it. Sorry?
Remember you sacked the rook already. That's, by the way, it has happened to me as well. Like this exactly. Sometimes you're looking at a move 4-5 moves deep and then you forget यहीं से तो start किया था.
So guys, you have to kind of see, there was one thing which I have learned is that if the king does not have squares, like you can see, he's almost done. It means you can go look for the checkmate now. Don't even look for something less. See if you can find some checkmate.
Also see that हमारे pieces, we have the rook, queen, knight, bishop and pawn. 5 pieces attacking the king. That should be lethal.
Rook takes e6. Queen a4 checkmate. Check. Sorry.
हाँ तो finish करो. Finish.
And then?
Rook takes, bishop takes, queen a4 check. Then rook comes to c6.
Maybe he will first block pinned with the bishop.
No. So then knight takes e6.
Now.
Knight takes e6. Bishop takes e6. Queen a4. Then the bishop is pinned, and I guess he.
But once you give up your knight, the f7 square
f7
opens up.
Free.
So it's not that trivial, right?
Yes.
Right now?
Oof.
Queen
I
A4.
I see the vision. I see the vision. It's nice. The king can go to D7, yes. So Sagar bhai, do you want to reveal it?
Yes. So the move is actually you are very close. You are there almost. You just didn't believe in your line further. The
Exactly.
right move is rook takes e6, bishop takes, check, and now maybe final question to everyone.
Exactly.
What
And-
a game.
Rook takes e6 felt very nice to play in a game, in a classical game for sure.
Look at this position, no, what we have. Like the king is so busted, can't go here, can't go here. It's just game over.
It's just, yeah, completely game over. And I also saw in the chat that where exactly did black go wrong? I mean, it was somewhere in the opening, but I wouldn't say he went wrong until he pushed f6 or until he took the pawn on c3 with his pawn. But I think इसको objectively sort of देखना बहुत मुश्किल होता है because you can see an engine and it will tell you the right move. But practically, I felt very comfortable throughout.
Actually, what I like, and maybe you guys noticed, is that Sahaj is not always looking to calculate lines till the end. He's trying to also use his intuition. यहाँ पे बहुत possibilities है. This looks good. यहाँ पे possibilities कम है. ये ठीक नहीं लग रहा है. So you know he's using places like here. He calculated it fully till perfection. But in some places you are kind of basing it on your feel.
Because I know, I mean, a calculation, I think you can always miss a lot of things, and it has happened to me many times where you miss, like, you know, that whole knight takes, I'm sure you guys remember the whole knight takes rook that happened with Esipenko 2 days ago. It happened to me 2 months ago, literally the same thing. And I think when you calculate everything to perfection, first it takes a lot of time, and secondly, there's a huge chance that you will miss. And I was always taught that you should trust your intuition, you should trust your feeling, no matter what. Even if it turns out to be wrong, your intuition will learn and it will grow. And next game, it will be better. So always trust that gut feeling that you have.
And anyway, you built this intuition of yours by studying some games, some players, some books, some videos, anything that you can share?
I think, of course, studying the classics is the best. These days, I think, looking at games of Arjun, I mean, it's just insane confidence.
Arjun Erigaisi.
Arjun Erigaisi, yes. I see insane confidence in his play, and I think intuition is built by confidence. If you believe in your play, then I think your intuition will grow regardless. And if you want to study some past games, maybe I really like the games of Bogolyubov, for example. He played a World Championship match against Alekhine. Very simple sort of tactics, very simple confident play. And Tal, of course, is a very big one. Fischer is a very big one. Yeah, but Bogolyubov is where I sort of got this
Very
from.
cool. And in the chat, people are saying, Misha Grover, well played. They say, what a game. So nice. Sahaj is immortal. And guys, I hope you enjoyed this and you learned something. Let's have a round of applause for Sahaj here, who showed this game and was kind enough to come 1 hour before the broadcast. Sahaj bhai, thank you for doing
1 hour
this.
earlier.
Yes,
Let's go.
exactly. And so we'll end this masterclass here. And in roughly 5 to 7 minutes, we'll be back with the final day of the World Cup. That's going to be epic. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.